It was another good night of sleep. I really enjoy being back home in my own bed. Okay, so before we get started this morning with our plans for the day, we should probably take care of some chores. First chore of the day I want to do is take care of the cows. Not all of them have grown yet. Just dispatch a few cows. Let them keep growing. Go check on the beehives. I have a few with honey this morning. One on this row. We'll let them go for another day. So since we're not harvesting the beehives, I guess we'll come down and harvest our sugar cane. We haven't harvested sugar cane in quite a while. We should just build an automatic sugarcane farm at this point, but I mean, at the rate we use sugarcane at the moment, we're not really trading a lot with our villagers. Oh, I chopped that. Oops. Yeah, we're not really trading a lot with the villagers, so once we tidy up the villager trading hall and get the villagers locked in to cheaper trades, then we'll do that. Maybe we'll dedicate a whole episode to that coming up. I think that's what we'll do. We'll dedicate a whole episode to finishing up the villager trading hall, the landscaping and terraforming around it, and getting all the trades set. That's a thing I don't really enjoy doing that much. It takes a lot of times to get all those trades set to what they should be, but part of the game. So much bamboo. Actually, not that much. But we already have a box of scaffolding and stuff like that, so most of these will be turned. An Enderman must have took my block there. Interesting. We're not going to worry about harvesting the cactus. It's more of a pain than it's worth when we already have a cactus farm that's producing more cactus than we can use. In fact, we might get rid of this cactus farm and extend our bamboo farm one day. Maybe. Who knows? Okay. What did we get out of that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 plus 8. 12 stacks plus 8 bamboo, and 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 stacks plus 14 sugarcane. Not that bad. Not that bad at all. We need to finish terraforming this whole place, but I've focused more on building the workshop than I have anything else. So let's check and see how many bamboo blocks. Nah, I can't talk. How many bamboo blocks we already have. I have enough for one more. One more stack, so that's 9 of these. And then the rest we will put down in the deep storage. Yeah, we'll put it down here. Right down here. I've been trying to think of some things to do for upcoming future episodes, and I think one thing we're going to do is finally go to the end and get an elytra. I have the shulker farm that we've already seen in the end, and I do believe there is a end city quite near there with a ship. And then once we get the elytra, maybe we'll fly around and get a couple more. We can put our sugar cane. Box might be full. Nope, we have room. Nice. Okay, let's go check and see if there's any more cows. I think we also need to replant part of the field up here. Maybe the whole field's planted. I don't remember if I replanted it or not. And then we'll come in and talk about today's plans. Field's been planted. Let's go see if we have cows. I told you last time I was gonna breed some more cows offline, and so I harvested the rest of the field. Bred 3.5 more stacks. We're still a good ways away before any of that happens. You have 41 leather still in the chest. We'll take that into the shop. I also want to check. I check these every morning. I don't want to lose one. The enchants on them are too delicate or too precious to lose because I forgot to mend the shears. And regular shears in there just burn out so fast. Where did you come from? Thank you for your contribution. These are getting there. They're about a fifth of the way. We have a little bit longer. I just like checking those because all of them have mending on them, so I can, and they also have unbreaking and efficiency maybe. I don't think the efficiency matters that much on them, but what really matters is the mending and unbreaking, because otherwise the shears just, they don't last at all. Let's go put this up. We have a scoot on us as well. Put the scoot in the box. And we'll put the cow skins up in the box as well. I have some stairs on me. Gunpowder. I'm killing creepers. I need to build a creeper farm soon. So if I somehow forget about building a creeper farm, because I've been saying that from like day one, please remind me in the comments. I don't want the arrow. Well, we'll put it up here in this box that has a bunch of arrows in it. We have a bow with, I forgot which one it is. It's the enchant that allows it to never break. Alright, let's just clear out the rest of this inventory for now. Okay, so let's talk about our plans. While offline, or while not recording, I took the time and set up a little planning area here for the Grand Railway. The Grand Railway is going to be a significant time investment, and we should get 6 to 12 episodes out of it. I think maybe more. I'm not sure yet. I'm still trying to get a steady pace of how long I can progress per episode. But I built this little planning wall, and as you can see, we've split it up into phases, and right now we're planning for phase 1. We've split phase 1 into several sub-phases. So phase 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 1.4. Phase 1 is building the foundation and the rail line from the Savannah Villa to the logging camp. It's roughly 11,000 blocks that we'll have to travel. It's a little shorter than that if it's a straight line, but we meander a little bit and take little detours to see things along the way, as you saw walking back. So it's roughly 11,000 blocks. Phase 1.2 will establish 2 to 3 initial rail stations, or you know, we can call them train stations, I guess, but not really train stations, railway stations, along that path somewhere, and these will be the initial points where we jump off from the main line and branch out to the rest of the world. Phase 1.3 is we will establish several camping sites, sightseeing locations, and lookout points along the way. We'll build little campsites and little huts and cabins and things like that for people to stay in overnight. And then maybe we'll also do a state park or national park, something like that, or two along the way as well. I have a couple places in mind. I think that would be that would work out. And then phase 1.4, this will be at the very end. We're going to connect the mine tunnel system that's below you haven't seen yet. It's just tunnels at the moment. There's no rails in them. We're going to connect that to the Grand Railway at some point somehow. Near the Savannah Villa here, because that's where all the tunnels are currently, and that'll allow us to move materials from the mine to the main railway and out to the rest of the world. So I used ChatGPT to do a little bit of math for me, and I put together a book. This book basically lays out this project, and if you want to read the entire plans for this project, I have a 30-something page long document on my Patreon. And if you become a patron at the lowest level, starts at $5, you can get access to that document and use it to plan your own rail line. And I would love to see your results from that. So go to my Patreon, link in the description below, and that will give you access to a more comprehensive document than we have in the Minecraft book right here. But project title, the Forgelands Grand Rail Line or Grand Railway. I kind of leaning towards Grand Railway. It sounds a little more elegant, I guess. And our objective is to construct a comprehensive multi-phase railway system connecting the Savannah Villa to the Spruce Logging Camp. And then eventually, in phase 2, we will extend it to the Scallop Gulch Mine, which is an additional 22-ish thousand blocks from the Spruce Logging Camp. So that's a vastly larger undertaking than even this first step. So like I said, phase 1, logging camp, or villa to logging camp. The straight line distance is approximately 8,350 blocks, but with the meandering and adding some additional length for elevation change and moving in and out of different scenes and things like that, it's going to be about 11,200 to 12,000 blocks. Along the way, there's going to be several major gorges we have to cross. We're going to cross those with grand bridges. One of them will be a very wide masterpiece. It'll be like the crowning jewel of it all, and that's the gorge, I think, that's closest, the large gorge that's closest to the logging camp. And then there'll be 15, 20, maybe 20 or so small, medium bridges, and of 2 very long, maybe 3 very long ocean or body of water crossings, as well as 3 tunnels and a bunch of 1 to 2 block high spans, maybe up to 5 block high spans we have to go over that where the terrain changes below us, and it's just easier and cheaper to extend the railway level across this 40 or 50 block section instead of following it down and back up and having to use things like powered rails and stuff to get us back up. The key focus of phase 1.1 is establishing the foundational rail path and establishing the key architectural challenges along the way, which are the bridges, along with the initial outpost. So that's an outpost, a rail station, essentially at the Savannah Villa and at the Spruce Logging Camp. So doing some math, you've already seen how far it is away. So just for the rail system, the foundation, and this is for a one wide, up to times 3 tall railway from the Savannah Villa, following the pathway we created, all the way to the logging camp. It's going to take 9,991 normal rails, which is about 6 shulkers. Powered rails is going to take 1,300, which is about 1 shulker, a little less than that. Cobblestone for the foundation that the rails will sit on is going to take 16,926. I padded that number a little bit to add 4 places we need some cobblestone supports or things like that. Logs, we're going to need 15,004. That's actually a miscalculation because I decided instead of just 1 log spaced every 4 blocks, on the 5th block you'd get a new log to hold up the gravel. We're going to do that same thing, but it's spaced every 6 blocks, so you have 5 blocks in the middle, and then you're going to lay a rail of or a line of logs horizontally along that span, and then you're going to put the cobblestone on top of that span. You'll see that later in this video. So I think for logs, we're actually going to need about 8,000. I could be wrong, but I think it's similar to the number of rails that we need. So it's going to be 8 to 9, maybe 10,000 logs, probably closer to 10,000 logs. Redstone torches, we're going to need 1,000. And lanterns, we're going to need about 375. And that's just to light the railway. We can, instead of lanterns, we could even use torches for the initial phase to just light the pathway along the way to kind of keep creepers and stuff like that away. If we use lanterns, those are just lighting the railway path every 8 or so blocks. They're not, or maybe a little more than that, but they're not lighting, 9 blocks away with unspawnable light levels. The bridges are going to require significant materials. This is just a very rough estimate. I'm not sure exactly what this is going to be, but I took kind of what the average span length was in my brain. I didn't really go back and count. And then built some bridges in my test world that I think will work out fine. And these are the numbers I come up with to build mostly all the bridges. So basically for stone blocks, we're going to need about 3,800. For cracked stone blocks, about 2,000. Mossy stone blocks, about 2,000. And then smooth stone blocks, about 2,000. Spruce logs, 1,800. Oak logs, 1,000. Spruce stairs, 1,000. Oak stairs, spruce trapdoors, oak shelves, spruce shelves, all 1,000 each of those. An additional 2,000 cobblestone, 3,800 deep slate bricks, as well as 1,800 polished deep slate bricks. And that's just for the bridges. There's actually going to be more stuff than that required. I'm not exactly sure what it's going to be, so we're going to take some crafting benches and furnaces with us and stone cutters along with us to build things along the way. For the stations, again, these are just very rough estimates. I haven't built anything just yet for what a railway station might look like. That's a long ways away, so I think we're going to require about half a shulker each of red bricks and nether bricks, a shulker of tough bricks, a half shulker to 3/4 of a shulker, maybe a full shulker of chiseled tough bricks, a stack of dispensers, a stack of blackstone buttons, 2 stacks of glass panes, and a stack of doors. Now, some of those are gross over exaggerations of what I'll need, but I might as well just grab a stack and take it with me when we're building. And that kind of finishes up this. Like I said, the document on Patreon has block palettes and all kinds of planning stuff. It kind of details the math I used and all of that. So if you want to see that, head over to Patreon, throw $5 my way to buy me a coffee, and you get access to all that. You get access to all the lore documents. I have a bunch of lore over there. I try to add new lore and new posts and updates to Patreon and Ko-Fi, or Coffee, however you want to say it, every single day. And I have links to both of those in the description below. So, with that done, you saw these, I think, last time. Oh, I can't because this is in front of it. But basically, these chests have rails. I think that has cobblestone, and this top one has the powered rails and such. So I just want to take all of these things and we will go detail. We will go just really quickly plan out some of the railway. And it's morning. That's very convenient for us. Yeah. Okay. I don't know where we're going to do this planning at. Kind of want to do it right here near the base. Let's go over this direction. We'll have some places where there's terrain elevation changes over here. And then once we build a little bit here, we'll go into my test server. And we'll take a look at, or my test world, not my test server, my test world. And we can just take a look at what that might what some of this stuff might look like. So let's assume that our rail line's going to go right here. Maybe we'll just turn this into a branch that's coming off. Ooh, okay, that'll work. And then we'll just dig back a little bit like that. Place a few cobble blocks in the orientation. I don't want to block there though, because that's a significant elevation change. And realistically, the cobblestone, which is representing gravel, let me get a little bit of dirt. The cobblestone, which is representing gravel, would just fall. It wouldn't stack itself up. So what I want to do is make pylons. And in real life, pylons are made out of logs. Well, you know, think of a big telephone pole. That's basically what a pylon is. So you'll have a pylon like that. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I should have brought some scaffolding with me, but we can do it this way. Like that. And then we'll come 6 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, I didn't make the jump. We'll do one more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Look at that. It just works out. And what I was talking about when we were going over the planning document is you would get logs like this. And this is just based off what I've seen in, you know, the area I grew up in, my hometown. You have train trestles. I think that's what they were called, was trestles. Trestles, something like that. And maybe we'll do one more. One more makes sense. Like that. And then you would have the gravel, which in our case here is cobblestone, just because it looks like gravel. Gravel doesn't really look like big, coarse, heavy gravel. Bye-bye, tree. And I want to see what that wandering trader has. You have, my friend. Nothing I don't already have. Come back next time with stuff I need, please. Okay, so let's assume we'll start there. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And if you look at the planning document, it has the planning document has our standards, like how many rails between powered rails, things like that, or do we need? And my standard's 13 rails between powered rails. Provides a good amount of speed without killing your productivity, or at least your material supply. Because powered rails are quite expensive to make. They take 8 gold ingots to make. I think, no, 6 gold ingots. Yeah, 6 gold ingots. So this is the basic concept, is a train trestle. So whenever we're spanning, you know, areas like this, terrain changes, maybe even in something like as deep as this, where we would come off the hill up there and just span straight across. We'll just do train trestles like this. And there's a couple things we can do to play around with them, like to just, I guess, church them up a little bit. We could also, let's take out the middle of one of these, because one thing I've thought about is, what if we just put slabs under there? So if we put a stair like that, and then slabs, and we could do something like that as well. But I also like adding these spruce shelves. They look good. Could also add, go down here to this end. You could add spruce trapdoors. If you get into scenarios where the spruce logs are the pylons, the trestles, I call them pylons, I guess, but I've heard them called trestles a bunch, where they're actually pretty tall. This is gonna hurt. Yep. Okay. Where, you know, you could, oops. We could do things like this. Like that. And then you would do the same to this side. Oops. That doesn't look half bad. Doesn't look really half good either, but you know, we could have bracing like that, or I haven't looked at how other people have done this in the past. I've seen some videos before of kind of how it works, but not. Oh, no, that doesn't need it. Let's put it here. Like that. We could brace it like that. That doesn't look terrible. Like if we were back here from a distance and you had another one. I'm not sure, maybe it looks better if it's upside down. But I don't know how to make it. Yeah. Yeah, see that? I guess in the middle we could connect it with a block. Makes a little more sense maybe. an upright block though. There, we're able to make it an upright block now. There we go. And then strip that block. Yeah, strip it. You could also just put that block in there. It's oak, but yeah, we get the point. It'll be fine. Cut out the waste. That looks better. I like that way better. Yeah. Yeah, that looks great. Look like from up here. Yeah. That looks way better. That looks way better. Imagine like 10 of those spanning a gorge and the railway on top with some lampposts illuminating the railway. That works for flat spans like this. That works really well for flat spans. It looks good. There's a lot of decoration options. I mean, you can even put stuff. Oh, I have a whole nother stack of those. Let's go on the other side and play. I need that. Why I did that. So you can even, you know, put these, well, on the cobble instead. Oh, I'm going down in a cave. And I'm going back in the cave. The one thing I don't like about placing the shelves is they're too easy to place inside each other. Like, because a shelf can hold an item, it's really easy to place that shelf inside another shelf. That looks pretty good. Like, can't wait till daylight, because that looks really good. Shelves are a little bit expensive in terms that you got to strip logs to make shelves, but I think you get 6 per craft, so it kind of balances out. Not perfect, but it's close. You know, if you don't want to like have just a plain straight little line, you can also do things like where did my stairs go? There they are. Like that. And then you have a little shelf to put things on. I like putting sweetberry bushes on that. So what I would do is, I have dirt. I do. Put some dirt on it. You can't really have a shelf there, but now you can put trapdoors. And now you have a little planter box onto the side of the railway. So you could put sweet berries here or any kind of flowers, anything that grows you could plant in these. It's a really nice place to maybe put a lantern post, a lamp post in the middle, and then plants on each side, maybe a melon plant on each side. That way weary travelers can stop along the way and eat a fresh melon. There's a lot of different things you can do. Like, let's go back and get some, let's eat first. And then we'll go back and get some, fencing. We're gonna need so many spruce logs. We should probably farm some in one of the upcoming episodes. I kind of want to start maybe streaming and doing the farming runs and stuff on the streams because, you know, hours of farming, I can talk to the chat while I farm, things like that. It would just make life a little easier. We'll just take a small stack of acacia fencing. We don't need that. And we will take a few regular lanterns because they're cheaper. And a few torches. And let's go back over. When we come back, we should also harvest our... I came the wrong way. When we come back, we should harvest the clay. We should also check on the cows. The cows should be fully grown by now. Everything that is within a 100 block square chunk. So 10 chunks by 10 chunks from the workshop. The center of the workshop is in a ticking area. If you don't know what a tick area is, it is basically the way you can do chunk loaders in Bedrock. Normal chunk loaders don't work in Bedrock, so you can set it, define a number of chunks up to 100 chunks for each ticking area, and you can have 10 ticking areas total. So technically you could have a 100 by 100 area in your server that would just tick all the time, no matter if you're on it or not, or your game or not. So let's build, come to this side, and we'll put one there. I also like doing this with walls. The stone wall works really well to attach to the cobblestone. It makes a nice aesthetic looking attachment point. So 1, 2, oops. Can I get a fourth? No. There we go. How is that working? Interesting. Huh. Now, just put one like that. Put a lantern on it. Try one over the tracks. Ooh. Over the tracks like that. I kind of like the over the track look. Yeah, that's not bad. And then we'll do a double. Let's do a double. Well, I definitely like the spruce trap or the spruce shelves. What about if we strip these? Okay. Now we might be doing something. Let's see. See what it looks like with the strip logs. Oh yeah, look at that. Man, that looks so much better than with the bark on it. I like that. I like the double, but I also like the overhang. The single looks okay, but maybe for short spans, or if we don't really want to waste a lot of money on the area we're in. I say money, if we don't want to waste a lot of resources. Not money. Planters are cool. I really like that. I need to chop that out. Yeah, I really like those trestles with that cross brace in the middle. If it was a spruce block in the middle instead of a oak block, that would be perfect. What does it look like if we strip the logs? I'll leave one side with the bark and see what it looks like. Oh yeah, it looks so much better with the strip bark. Yes, look at that. Yeah, that looks great. Okay. I would like to know what all of you think, all of you watching. And if you do end up joining the Patreon and go over the document, I would love to know what you think. Leave me some comments there on that post on Patreon. Now, let's go back. And once we get back inside the workshop, before we go check out the build server, or the test, I say the build server, the test world. Before we go check that out, I'm stuck. Let's take care of some cows. Oh yeah, they're all adults now. This is gonna take a minute. Because this is a total of 4.5 stacks of wheat. So this could be like 200-ish cows. Nope, it's gonna be less than that. Okay, maybe it was way less than I thought. But the hoppers are full. So we'll leave that. And let's go do a round of... Go put our materials back up. And then we'll go do a round of clay. And go check out the test server. Put up our materials. And we will go, let's go up to the organics room and make some clay really quick. Okay. Gonna crouch down so we use the vein miner mod, and when I mine it, all of the clay will get mined. My tool does take damage for each block mined, and then when we hop down, We get that nice little plunky sound. I don't know how to describe it. So satisfying. Let's drop these into our brick smelter because we're going to need a lot of red bricks. And we're full, so that means we have 4 full double chests of clay balls there, and we can fill up our bulk. Here is our bulk chest. Now, go ahead and refill our clay floor. Won't take but just a minute. You can't really sit here and auto click this. If you do, you need to have a slow auto clicker, like kind of at the pace I'm clicking now, because the dispenser only holds 9 bottles of water, and since water bottles don't stack, if you go too fast, the hopper cannot feed new water bottles into the dispenser fast enough, and you will miss one of the dirt blocks being turned into mud. So you just go slow. It should use everything but 8 from these 2 stacks of dirt. Yep, see, I just missed one. I'll show you how to fix that. It's quite simple. It's going a little too fast. We already have, you can see in the corner, the doors open, and when the doors open, that usually means that the bottle recycler is already on. And in fact, you can see the bottles in the bubble column back there going up, so it is recycling the water bottles, the empty glass bottles, into the water bottle filler above. And there's no danger of ever running out of bottles. There's 12 stacks of empty bottles in there. And it literally fills a bottle as fast as we place a block, so it's just one continuous loop. Almost there. Put up the rest of our blocks. We'll grab, we only had 1, yep, only 1. Grab a water bottle. Drop it on there. Drop the water bottle in here. It will get shuffled to the bubble column and get recycled. Flip the lever to turn that off. Close that. And now we have a fresh floor of mud being turned into clay. We have a full box there. Happy with that. So, let's go back downstairs. And we will head over to the test server, and I'll show you some more of the bridges that I've built. Welcome to the test world. Okay, I'm not going to look at anything other than what we came here to look for, because I don't want to spoil anything from the future. So here's that same kind of, I guess, elevated railway to go over falling terrain. Kind of the same design. You see I stripped the logs here too. I definitely do not like it with oak trapdoors. I like it with the shelves the best. I think we discovered at the Savannah Villa that I like it with the shelves on the cobblestone the best. But here's where I was talking, where I like how the stone blocks interface with the cobblestone nicely for lamppost and such like that. This is a better version than this. This works. This is fine. This is a better version because you can actually paddle a boat under it. So most times, unless it's a really insignificant waterway, we will have the arch like this. So we'll go up 2 blocks to go make sure we are at least 2 blocks above the water. Here you can see, I like this, where I think I'll like it as well once grab some and put them on here and see. Yeah, I like that. You can see these are also slabs under here. So that looks pretty good in itself right there, especially if we take the slabs off of this side. Like that. I like that. That looks pretty good. But it also looks pretty good. Maybe. Oh. Maybe without those? No, it looked way better with the slabs. I like the log underneath. It also looks nice with slabs. I can't deny that. Yeah, that looks pretty good. We also have this higher arch right here. I could see that working over small deep gaps, just as a kind of an arch over a big hole kind of thing. Not that bad. Let's take a look at some of the lampposts. You saw we just built some like that. I like this alternating sides placement methodology. The stones, I really like the stones. If this was coming off of wood, I'd like it with the fence better, but since it's coming off of stone, I like interfacing with the stone. This is by far my favorite, or this one of these two is my most favorite of the lampposts, but those aren't for every biome or even every aesthetically, or it doesn't match with the aesthetics of some, like it doesn't match with this railway at all. But I like it the best with the black stone button and the chiseled stone block. There's a little more simple kind of hybrid with a little bit of wood elements in it as well, kind of like this one. Got a wood and a metal trapdoor. I think the mixed chain heights looks really good, or at least the mixed lantern height. This is one of my favorite ones too. It's just a simple double lantern lamppost with a barrel at the bottom and some sweet berries, so maybe tuck some snacks or something in there along the way. Planter box like we showed before. It's more accurate representation of what we showed before because it has the stairs for the bottom support. More of those cross bracings for the pylons. This is a pretty interesting. Let's look at this in the daylight. Bit of a storm. So, you know, it's kind of a play on the one with the sweet berries, but it has a honey block, a pressure plate, and what I call the winged lantern holders. I like this design with one lantern just on the trapdoor and one on the chain. And then there was one with a bell. I like bells. And then we come over here, we have some more bridges. This is kind of a grand stairway bridge that would go over a more mountainous or stony area. I really like this one, especially with the oxidized copper lantern in the top. It just looks really good, and the oxidized copper golem that's in the in the minecart. But I like the stone palette using the cracked stones, the mossy stone bricks, regular stone bricks. Come down, the support column is just a cross, and it has a foundation. We have depth by adding more walls in here like this. You can see we tuck the redstone for the railways out of the way. The chain is tucked up with just the lantern hanging down exposed. 3 wide. It's kind of a cool aesthetic when you go through it. Over on this side, we have one that is similar that I built out of wood, at least similar in silhouette anyway. Same thing, a crossed column support with a foundation. Cross column support with a foundation. More of that depth and things like that with the lanterns. Is this one? Yeah, this one's still 3 wide. It just looks wider because of all of the shelving. I do not like the black oak trapdoors. They're ugly. The spruce trapdoors are okay, but I think the shelves are the nicest. Then over on this side, there is a smaller, all wooden, well, a hybrid of mossy cobble and spruce for maybe the spruce forest. The spruce taiga forest. Same with the depth. Have the redstone tucked so it can't be seen. You could add a chain to drop the lantern down, or even something like a slab to drop it down half a block. Well, I guess you couldn't because you can't attach it to a half slab. And then I built a covered bridge. This is one I really like. It looks nice. It's aesthetically pleasing. For the windows, I have iron bars, fencing, fence post, I guess. Copper. The copper looks really good in the sun, but it's a little more subtle and it kind of blends in with the mossy cobble. I kind of like it. And then just the holes. I like the holes and the gate, the iron and copper grates. I'm not really a fan of the fence post, but I do like how it changes the wall to have the little column there, so that's kind of nice. And we have a few more. This is like the most metal lamppost ever. Really nice. It uses the smoker and some buttons. A anvil is also really expensive. 2 hoppers, things like that. Another basic lamppost. This one's kind of like I would use in like an overgrown, maybe granite jungle temple kind of design where like there's plants growing on top of it and it's overgrown with vines and things. Definitely some oxidized copper lanterns. This is probably one of my favorite lampposts because it hangs over the pathway and it just is unique. I like it. This one, it uses a lectern, that's kind of unique. And then we have this one that's probably good for like an acacia biome or a savanna, I guess. And then, I mean, this one's made out of all warp stuff. This one's trippy. I would like this one in like maybe a home or in some caves or something. The sea lantern is probably the most expensive part of it. Although getting that warp stuff is a pain in the butt if your nether portal doesn't spawn near a warp zone. Yeah, so let me know what you guys think about these bridges. We're definitely going to be using this one here in one of the builds, and we'll definitely be using the covered bridge a few times, as well as this bridge right here. I think we'll be using variations of this a lot, and this one. And before we leave the test world, there's one other thing I'll show you really quick. This is something we're going to be building in the Forgelands quite soon near the Savannah Villa. At the moment, we get all of our clay from the clay pit, or the clay farm that we just worked on, or from the riverbanks, and I want to add an actual clay pit. So this is my version of a clay pit you might find along a Roman river or something like that. If you ever played that game Caesar 3, like the clay pits in that game. And it's functional. If you mine this clay and put a mud block on top, it will turn back into clay. I'll show you how I do that. Get in the hole. Wow, that took forever. So I have the clay pit hole mirrored with cobblestone, and each cobblestone has a piece of dripstone on it. And if you put the mud on top of a solid block with dripstone, it turns into clay. That's how the clay farm at the Savannah Villa works. And then inside it's themed to look earthy and like it's a clay pit, kind of. You don't actually need to make any of this visible. You could seal this off forever, and that would be that. But the palette on the outside is very kind of like muddy, clayey. The pale mossy carpet and moss blocks really look like it's clay that's been walked on and mashed in a lot. Then I have some mud. A few actual clay blocks are in here with some diorite and coarse sand and some mud brick stuff. The brown carpet also looks a little bit like mud, and I have leaves on top of the coarse sand to look like it's mud that's been stepped in. And that's it. This is just a quick little clay room that I built. We don't have to worry about that. That won't appear anywhere. But I think we're going to put some of these near the Savannah Villa. Maybe not a perfect circle like this is. Maybe more something elongated or following a riverbank in a few places. But the concept's the same. Solid block with the dripstone to make it functional. And welcome back to the Savannah Villa. Okay, so I think before we wrap things up, we've already taken care of the mine, or the clay farm. We've taken care of the cows. Go see if all of the leather has filtered down into the box yet. I would say it has. I hate phantoms. I hate phantoms. Hate them, I hate them, I hate them. We have a leather. Let's go ahead, and I guess we can end the episode as soon as we deposit this leather and head back up to our bedroom and write our book. Look at that. We just filled up our leather chest. Very nice. We have leather over here. That is the only chest we have for leather, I think. Right now. Okay, we'll drop it here in this box for now. This is kind of my building station box, but I'll remember it's there, and we'll use it in one of the upcoming episodes to make some more item frames, because I think I don't have a lot of glow frames. I only have 7 glow frames. I have a bunch of regular frames, though. Okay, well, let's head up to the bedroom. Won't be able to go to sleep if this guy is here. And we'll write our book and go to bed. I love this place. I love this game. What day is it? 1984. That's the year I was born in real life. Day 1984. Over the past few days, I have completed a good bit of planning on the Grand Railway, and as a result, I've created a planning area in the planning room, along with material storage. I also have a master planning book for Phase 1 of the project. Today, I took the viewers out behind the villa and worked out a prototype railway trestle system that I will use to span small gaps with less than 12 blocks in vertical height change. I also warped to the test world and showed off a few bridge designs for the project, as well as several lamppost options that we have. We then wrapped up the visit with a look at my functional clay pit design and talked about how it can be integrated here into the Forgelands. And now it's time for bed. As always, I want to thank all of you for watching, everyone who's commenting and leaving comments and questions and little tips here and there. I appreciate all of it. This really is therapy for me, and I couldn't do this without you guys supporting me along the way. So I will see you in the morning. Thanks again for watching, and good night.
Andy the maker, dawn breaks over the farm. Wheat fields to harvest, cows need the char. Clay pit gives its blue, mud layer restored. Master book open, railway plans explored. Phase 1 decided, villa to spruce camp line. Test track near home on spruce logs so fine. Cobblestone base, lush the rails in the air. Short span design locked solid and fair. Portal hums open, test world lights the way. Ornate stone bridges and crofted spans play. Clay pit runs perfect, every detail refined. Back through the portal, Forgelands on my mind.
Grand railway rising,
When railway rising,
phase 1 takes flight.
Andy the maker, building tonight.
Grand railway rising,
When railway rising,
stone bridge in this tomorrow.
burning bright. Final wheat harvest, 3.5 stacks high. Cows multiply, strong under golden sky. Shulkers full of rails, tools ready to go. Journal page written, the story will grow. Night in Savannah Villa, bed claims the fight. Dreams full of bridges and rails in the light. Tomorrow more testing.